People watch on Facebook, just no one's here yet. Hey, Instagram, welcome to Real Life Cooking. No one's here. Hi, Gil, how are you? Stacked enchiladas. Hey guys, welcome. Hi, the real raging hippie enchilada. I'm trying to figure out how to spell enchiladas. It's a struggle. All right, post that. Let me pin the comments. Welcome to Real Life Cooking, guys. We have a very special guest today. I'm so excited about today's episode. It's actually a new friend that I've met during quarantine as a boss girl business. Her name is Shev Robinson, and I'm going to, or Shev, aka Shev, and I'm going to bring her in just a second. Let me add her on in. Let me make sure this volume is up so I can hear her. How are you doing today, Real Raging Hippie? Andy? Hey, Andy. Hey, Chef. Oh, Chef came in dancing. How are you?
I felt it. I felt the energy. Hi.
I mean, it's Sunday Fun Day, right?
Absolutely.
How are you doing over there? You're in Brooklyn right now, right?
I am in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, and it is still sunny, and it is 7 o'clock. Life is amazing.
Yes, it's a beautiful day. Watching is super hot. I think it's the hottest day of the year so far in New York City today.
I feel like it's been hot all week. And it's just like, it should be hot today, but 90 degrees is excessive. I went inside, I went outside, I went back inside. I sweat the entire time.
It's too much. Even the AC over here is just not really kicking. So if I grab a towel and dab myself down, please do not do not judge me while that is happening. But yeah, welcome everyone to Real Life Cooking. It is a show that we cook a meal from start to finish within an hour. And today we have super exciting news. Not only is Shev with us to join us to cook along today, but we have the original technological guru, TT, on the ones and twos.
No way. That's why I came in dancing. I felt it. I felt it.
So if you guys have any questions throughout the whole process, culinary, or if you have questions for me or Shev, please drop them in the box below, and TT will relay them to us, and we will be able to answer. So I'm very excited. I've said excited like 18 times, but I'm very excited on today's episode. Oh, but we haven't started. There's no questions yet, Christopher.
What is that? Other technological guru?
Oh, no. I mean, whenever someone comes back, it's like extra exciting. But Chris did a good job. He filled in for a good solid 3 months during quarantine.
Yes.
Let's go.
But anyway, Shev, would you like to say just a few words about yourself before we get started? We'll dive more into you as we continue on. But please introduce yourself.
So my name is Shev Robinson, best known as Shev. In New York, everybody seamlessly calls me Shev now that I put that out there. It's very weird. It used to be a pet name, and now it's the only name that people know me by. So you can feel free to call me Shivani or Shev. Best known as a celebrity trainer. I've trained anybody you can think of, from celebrity musicians to action stars and everybody basically. And now quarantine, we have flipped that and we are inside. So I'm still doing the same thing, but just not traveling, which is awesome. Been in New York for 7 years.
We're New York twins because we've been in New York the same amount of time.
Really? Yes. I came here, didn't love it. It's slowly growing on me. So now I've been here and I don't know when I'm ever leaving. Happy to be cooking, which is like my second love. I love training, helping people, and cooking. It's literally like my thing. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I cook all the time. This is not just like a hobby. It's like a way of life.
No, it really is. Like sometimes you surprise me. I'm like, oh, wow, that's a good idea. I should try that.
Yes, I love that.
Awesome. So yes, very happy to have you here on the show. We're going to actually start cooking, and we'll dive a little bit more into your training life and other aspects along. But the show is, we're making a meal from start to finish in an hour. So we want to make sure we get that done.
Let's do this.
Today we're making stacked enchiladas. So we're making a vegetarian version. You can also do this with chicken, any kind of meat you want if you in the future you'd like to do that. But today we'll be using zucchini and yellow squash, and we're gonna actually, the most important part of the show is we're gonna be making our own enchilada sauce, which is super dope because you can buy it in the can, but obviously no shortcuts. I've taken some of Chef's workouts, no shortcuts there, so we're not taking shortcuts in the kitchen today.
I just feel like if you're gonna do it, you should do it from scratch so you know what you like and you're putting in your food.
For
And
sure, for sure.
I've never done this before, so you're teaching me something new, which you always do.
Awesome. All right, we have some questions before we get started. TT? Oh.
What's that drink that you have there?
Oh yeah, so it's Sunday Fun Day, so I have a Truly, which is only 100 calories. You would approve as a
Everybody's drinking this. I'm like out of the loop, so I have to grab some. Literally seen it everywhere lately.
It's only 100 calories, but the thing is, it's like everyone asks what kind of alcohol is in there. Who knows? Like, it literally says alcohol in the can, so maybe I should be afraid about that.
No, you know what? I like surprises, and when it comes to alcohol, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Do you have any cooking juice over there?
I do. My drink of choice is usually tequila, water, and lime, but I didn't have any, so we have gin and tonic water.
Nice, nice.
So cheers.
Cheers. We have
This
so
is-
many things in common. 7 years in New York, tequila is our drink with a little splash
Yes.
of water. Look at
I'm
us.
saying. For
All right,
everybody
guys.
out there, we have never actually in person for
No.
real life met ever. So this relationship is very organic.
For sure, for sure. Just texting and talking and hanging out online.
Right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna bring over all the ingredients just so you guys know. Oh, you guys can't see my cutting board. Because it is, the only thing that's a little annoying about enchilada sauce is you need a lot of ingredients. So I'm gonna bring them all over. We're gonna need chili powder, we're gonna need garlic powder, we're gonna need onion powder, we're gonna need cumin, we're gonna need coriander, which I actually don't have, or I couldn't find in my house today, so whatever.
I had to go and get this last minute because I've never owned coriander. So yeah.
Coriander is actually, so if you don't like cilantro, you're not gonna like coriander. It is the dried version of cilantro, but it adds like really nice floral notes. Oh, we have a question?
Quick question. What should you do if you don't have every single ingredient listed?
So this is called real life cooking for a reason. But I'm a big fan, like if you don't know anything about cooking, definitely you need a recipe. But if you don't have every ingredient in a recipe, say an ingredient does, or a recipe has a ton of ingredients, don't be afraid to try it if you just don't have one spice. Like, it's not going to be exactly the same or how it's intended, but still try it. Still try it out. It's perfectly fine. So we have chili powder, we have garlic powder, we have onion powder, we have coriander, we have cayenne pepper, we have paprika, we have salt, and we have oregano for our main seasonings at the beginning.
Okay.
Also, before we get started about adding these in, I wanted to point this out to people because I always talk about how you shouldn't keep spices for a long time. These two things are exactly the same, smoked paprika, and look at the color difference in one, because one is like 6 years old and one is like new.
That's insane. If you ever saw my spice cabinet, I think it would make you very happy. You can't see it, but I'll send you a picture. And I think I hoard a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So yeah, definitely you don't want to keep your spices for too long. This one on the left is trash because look how dark it is compared to the new one. Yeah, it's just gonna taste like dust. It really tastes like nothing. So make sure you're keeping your spices refreshed in your cabinet. We have some questions.
Does it always taste the same? You mean it doesn't taste the same?
No, it will taste like dust. It literally will not have the strong, potent flavor that this will. Another question?
Question. How long should you keep a seasoning after opening?
Generally like a year is okay. 6 months is better. I realize not everyone is cooking so much to go through all their seasonings, but a year is like a good rule, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, another question?
How long have you had that smoked paprika?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that smoked paprika was from when one of my clients closed down their Hampton house in the summer, and I was like, oh, spices are expensive. I'm taking this with me, like 6 years ago. So anyway, all right, so we're also going to need a saucepan, and I realized in the way that I wrote out the recipe, I said butter and oil. We actually only need one, so we're kind of starting this in the same way that you make gumbo, where you make a roux, in a sense. Have you ever made gumbo?
I have not, but I just made shrimp and grits for the first time on Friday, and wow.
I missed that on your stories.
No, it wasn't on my story. It was actually one of the spotlight classes on my live stream,
Oh,
which I will plug later. But yeah,
with Chef, what was her name? Halima?
Halil, yeah.
Halil,
We made our own stock, and then we made the roux from the stock, and I mean, I was like, everybody's getting shrimp and grits when we can open the world again.
Dope. So yeah, we're gonna start with a roux. So we're basically gonna heat up our 2 tablespoons of. You can use butter or oil.
What do
And
you want me to use?
whatever you want. So because I try to make this a little healthier since you're a trainer.
You know, I feel like everybody, I can't go out to eat with people because they're like, I know you don't eat certain things. I would like you to cook it in the fashion of tasting the best.
Okay,
today.
so butter.
Okay.
Butter
Great.
is what we're gonna use today. But the alternatives you could use are oil, like canola oil, or coconut oil, if you really want to go
Awesome.
all the way on the extra side of healthy.
And how
So
much
we're gonna
butter
do
should I use?
2 tablespoons, and we're
Okay.
gonna melt that in the saucepan that we have here. And actually, I think some people are cooking along. I think Tiana in LA is cooking along, and
Yay.
my mom actually might be cooking along. She said she was buying the ingredients, so we'll
I
see.
love that. Last question before we go on, because I know you said we needed 2 saucepans. Should I use the small one for this first moment or the big one?
Yeah, we're gonna use the
Okay.
sauce.
Yep. See, this is, I know how to cook. I don't know what things are called. There are 2 differences. Okay.
Yeah, those are skillets or frying pans.
Is
There
this
you go.
deeper? Is this
Perfect,
deep enough? Okay, perfect.
If you guys are just joining us, thank you for joining Real Life Cooking. Today we are making stacked enchiladas, and we're just getting started on our sauce. If you'd like to stick around, we have a question.
We have a question from Steph Batronic. Are the enchiladas vegan or vegetarian?
So they could definitely be made vegan. They are vegetarian. They could be made vegan if you didn't use butter right now. Vegans do not eat butter. You could use coconut oil or canola oil if you would like. So basically what we're going to do is melt our butter, and then we're going to put in, so 3 of the spices we're using 3 tablespoons of. We're using 3 tablespoons of chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, and coriander.
Ooh, yes.
And then we're using half a teaspoon of our paprika, our salt, and our oregano. And we're going to use more salt than that, but just for now we'll use a half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, and our cumin we're using 3 tablespoons of.
So 3 tablespoons of chili, cayenne, cumin.
Oh, not cayenne, unless you want it super spicy.
Okay, sorry. Chili, coriander.
Chili, onion, coriander, cumin, and garlic. 3.
Okay.
And then I'm going to talk you through this before you start adding them in. Basically, we're going to add them in, toast them up for 30 seconds. So maybe you might want to add them all together in a little bowl and then add them in all at the same time.
Cool.
And then toast them for 30 seconds. Then we'll add in our flour. And we have a question.
We have a question from C. Coy. Is Steph in the live studio audience?
Yeah. I might see her here.
Okay.
All right, so 3 tablespoons of chili powder, garlic powder, onion powder, and just make sure your butter's not burning if you started melting it already.
Oh, shoot.
Another question?
Another question. How many servings does this make?
So this is probably going to make about 2 cups of enchilada sauce, and we're making stacked enchiladas. So it's a little bit different than the rolled enchiladas where you dip them in sauce and then you pour sauce over. We're going to literally fry our shells and then dip them in the sauce and then just stack them on top of each other. So I would say in general, this is a good amount for 4 because the sauce is good for 4 people. But this recipe is also easily adjustable. So don't be afraid. Also, going through our spices, if you don't like the spice, again, we talked about this at the beginning. If you don't like the spice, you can definitely omit it. The only spices I definitely would not omit are chili powder, garlic powder, and onion powder. That's like the base of our sauce. Everything else is kind of adds different layers and levels of flavor, but it's not absolutely needed. And I hope no one from Mexico actually comes and hunts me down because they're like, no, everything is needed. But in general, cook with what you have.
And you said there was one thing that we were going to be using a teaspoon of?
Oh, yeah. So the chili powder, onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, and coriander, 3 tablespoons, half a teaspoon of paprika, salt, oregano. And then the cayenne pepper is really just for heat. So depending on how spicy you like things, you can add half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of that. And then at the end, we're going to taste it again. So if you want to add more, you can.
Got it. All right. I think that's my 3 of cumin. I could be. I think that is.
Also, if you guys are watching and noticing, I never measure anything And I would suggest trusting your gut as the more you learn to cook, because really you're just making it to taste good for you and whoever's eating it with you. So trust your gut, and you can always fix it at the end. I think we have a question.
We have 2 questions. So the first question from Seafoy is, are you nervous about drinking on live set?
No one got nervous about drinking truly on live set. What was the other question?
The other question is from Gil Ups.
Sorry. I guess the question is really funny.
If you were going to add chicken, would you marinate it in advance?
So right now we're just working on the sauce, but if you're adding chicken, if you're going to use chicken, I would definitely marinate in advance, depending on what type of piece of chicken you're using. And I'll talk about that a little bit more when we actually start stacking our enchilada.
Okay, hold on.
All right, so we have our little seasoning mix here for our enchilada sauce.
Hold on.
Man, don't worry. Take your time. Take your time.
Okay, cool. I'm like, hold on.
If you original enchilada sauce was actually made, or is actually made with like dried chilies. I don't know. Have you ever seen those in the grocery store, Shev? Like,
I have.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you like boil those with onion and garlic and things of that nature, and then you blend it all. This is kind of like a Americanized version of enchilada sauce.
Yeah.
But these spices you can find these spices in any store. As opposed to those dried chilies, they're a little harder to find. Question.
So 2 questions. How long do you store a seasoning mix like the one that you're making right now?
Oh, so
that's
if you
a
wanted
great
to,
question.
this is essentially we made kind of like taco seasoning, or like a just very basic Latin seasoning. You can store this for up to a year, just as long as you keep your spices in an airtight container.
Oops, sorry.
And then the second question is from Seafoy. Is it easier to work with no one watching, kind of like Chopped, with no live studio audience?
I think actually Shev is probably good at answering this question too, because you've been doing your live stream monthly membership workouts, and I'm sure
so wordy.
I'm sure it's a lot easier when you have more members taking that class on that specific day, because the energy is different, right?
I will say this, there are a lot of people that have been doing like lives like this. And for me, as a trainer who feeds off of people's energy and just like needs that actual interaction, I was like, there's no way that I could just be 10. I don't know if you're really doing it or you're sitting in your couch just like, wow, she's like really squatting so for me, I like having people with me, working with me. It's easier.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
just better.
I definitely agree. Like, I like doing, I've done the show by myself, and I probably still will do it again, but it's a lot easier when I'm interacting with someone like you, or when there's people in the room, because otherwise you're literally talking to a screen. Like, hey guys!
Exactly. And then you're just literally not sure. You're looking at the messages, and you have people reading off your questions, so you don't have to run back and forth.
Exactly.
You've done this before.
All right, guys, so we put together our spice mix. We're going to toast that in our butter for about 30 seconds until it becomes a little bit fragrant. And then we're going to add in our 3 tablespoons of flour. Do we have another question?
We do have another question for Shev. What are some recommendations for someone just starting out working out?
Set clear goals. Sometimes people create goals that they are so far-fetched. So set clear goals. And
so
then,
if I were to say I want to weigh 110 pounds, that's like a far-fetched goal, right?
That's not a far-fetched goal, because I don't know what you're trying to get to 100. And then again, it's like, how tall are you? You know what I mean? And different things, how your age and what's your reason for wanting to get there. So like set clear goals and understand that those goals are meant to be made and like surpassed. So set goals and then set timelines and then actually write out how you want to get there. Are we adding our mixture together, Chefleen?
Yeah, we're going to add it to our oil and toast it for about 30 seconds. And I think what you just said is super important about setting goals, because it doesn't make any sense to be doing anything without a reason why, right? So
exactly.
It's like, why do I want to be, where do I want to be, and why do I want to be there? And that helps you like wake up every morning and train.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm self-motivated, so I'm a little different. And there are some people that need that accountability. So I would say find an accountability partner. Sometimes that's a trainer. We're not just there to just train you, we keep you accountable. And if not, like find a family member or somebody that has a goal similar to yours so that you guys can feed off of each other and you don't feel like you're alone. Because if there are people in your house that are not on the same routine, it's very easy.
Like someone that buys juice every time they go to the grocery store, and I'm like, why do we need this juice? This is just empty calories.
I mean, my boyfriend buys ice cream, and we have Doritos in the house now, and like, you know, things that I don't eat. So yeah, of course. But that's some.
Chris did not like that comment at all. But all right, so we're toasting up our spices. Before we add in our 3 tablespoons of flour, we're going to need to add in 3 more tablespoons of fat. So either oil or butter. I'm going to continue with the butter since we went down that road.
Yep.
And then we're going to add in our flour and just move that around a little bit so it gets thick. And then we're going to add in our tomato paste and our broth. We have a question?
We have a 2-part question from Stefatronic. So this is a question for both of you. What has been the biggest obstacle and or biggest plus of working in your respective industries during the social distancing / quarantine environment?
This dissertation of a question.
This is a great
What's been the best part
question.
of quarantine? What's been the struggle that you found with the quarantine and the work that you do?
Okay. I'll answer, but I just want to show you guys this is what my spice mixture looks like. It's really thick. I just toasted it up in the butter. Now I just added more butter in, and I'm going to add my flour in. So it should be thick. So
you should add the butter and the flour at the same time?
Yep. So I'm about to add in my flour now.
And I have it on a low heat.
A low heat. Because you don't want to burn this. If you burn this, then your sauce
That's it. Okay, cool. And it's 2 tablespoons of flour, correct?
You said 2? No, 3 tablespoons.
3 tablespoons? All right.
Yep.
Go on. Answer your question. This is a great question.
Best and worst part of the quarantine.
So for me, the best part, and I think actually this is one of the reasons Shev and I connected, because we both kind of pivoted or like grew our business in a different way we never really thought about before for quarantine. So me, the virtual classes has been kind of the best part. I literally work in my house. I get to meet all kinds of people from across the country, and I get to teach them how to cook and build confidence in a very connected way, not like this Instagram way where, like you said earlier, I don't really know who's watching or how involved they are, but like the classes, I definitely know. So that's been awesome. The worst part was at the beginning the worst part is not seeing a lot of my friends or being able to move and be social like I used to, and the loss of income that I experienced at the very, very beginning. I was like, oh my God, like how am I going to survive?
That is very valid.
Yeah, but
can I just say something about this sauce? First of all, like, wow, I can't believe I made this. It smells exactly how I expected it to. I'm like, wow. And I'm happy you've taken yours off the stove because I just did the same thing without looking at what you were doing. And you're salting. Come on, tell me what's going on.
Oh yeah, sorry. I forgot to add my salt earlier when I told you to add your salt. So now I've added my flour. So now it's like a thick paste. But now we're gonna add in our 1/2 cup of tomato paste and our 3 cups of broth.
1/2 cup of tomato paste. 3 cups of broth.
And I promise you, this is like once we get through this sauce, it's like easy breezy.
Oh no, I love this. I love being able to like show people that I can make things from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question because I thought this was an amazing question. One, I have been ripping and running for the last 10 years, and even before I moved to New York. I will say in the last 2 years, because my business has grown, and not just on a training everybody in New York, but like traveling with artists and prepping them for concerts and road shows and festivals. It's like there's never an off season for me. So I go from like festival season to award season to like tour season, and then I'm not on the road. So the plus was actually being able to pivot to something that I had planned to do for so long. I just didn't even have the time to slow down and do it because my artists weren't slowing down. They were like, so we're on tour now. And then we're like, it's the award season, and it's like, so I was constantly traveling, which is like a plus. But then there was no like, let me sit down and really restructure my company and figure out how to not work on the road for the rest of my life, because that's not sustainable.
For sure. That's kind of similar to me too, before you finish the rest of the question. As a private chef, you're literally like living whatever lifestyle they want to live, which is awesome and great. Like, oh, I'm here, I'm there, I'm wherever. But at the same time, like, how, like in 10 years, what is that doing for me? Like,
Exactly.
when I want to have kids, when I want to like be in my own house, like, what is that? What is that?
Exactly. So I will say the best thing, and 3 cups of broth, correct?
Yep. So we're gonna add. So sorry, you're so on top of it. You are like one of the greatest cook-alongers. No offense to anyone that's been here before, but
I'm like,
really
and what are we doing next? Because I don't want to miss anything. And I know you're so used to cooking, so I'm just like trying to keep up and talk. But
yeah, so
again,
we're gonna add in our 3 cups of broth to this. And at first, it's not gonna look like anything. It's gonna look like weird, like chunky, random spices. But as it all heats together, and you might even need to use a whisk, it'll start to come together like a coherent sauce.
All right, I'm going to use a whisk because I like using a whisk. So does using a spoon. So I love being home. Like, I'm a homebody as much as I love to communicate with people and like be out and experience things. My home is like my favorite place, and I make it that. So like being able to be home and like work from home is like the best and the worst thing that ever happened to me. Cause like I'm literally like forced to be home. It's not even like an option. So being able to build my business from home and know that if I did want to slow down and like start a family and do all of that, I can absolutely do that because I've done it before it happened.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that is the best part. That's I agree totally. I think because we're similar, like building businesses in the same sort of way, just different industries, and trying to like have our own autonomy of what we're doing and what we have to offer the world. But again, don't get me wrong. I'm sure just like you feel, working for celebrities and traveling the world is amazing.
It is. It's like they're the perks of like being around people's energy and just seeing things like you can't. That's something I can never take for granted. I miss it.
We have a question. Another question.
We have a question and a comment. Which do you want first?
Whatever.
So let's start with some comments. RJ Boyd said, "Send me a plate at Chef." Simply Allah or Yalla. "Hi Chef, I love you!" Exclamation point 3 times.
Oh,
that's you. That's my best friend.
Hey, Jesse. And then we have another question. Can you name drop any artists that you've worked with for both of you?
Go ahead.
Since it's your show, I'm gonna like. I most recently was preparing Cardi B post. I don't want to say like her post hiatus after she had her child, her first daughter. I was prepping her for her resurface, if you want to say that. I'm absolutely on the road and consistently working with her. So those are my most recent, and then a plethora of Marvel actresses and actors that I prep for like stunt work and things like that, which is awesome.
Oh, dope. So, yeah. Also, randomly, I didn't know you were from Canada.
A lot of people don't because I've been here so long and I kind of integrate. And then I'm like, oh, everything's shutting down in America. I think I should go home. And they're like, where are you from? I'm like, Canada.
Yeah, no, when someone sent you a gift basket with all this Canadian stuff, you're like, oh, it feels so good to be close to home. And I was like, what? And then I was like, what? It kind of makes sense because she does say some words a little bit funny.
Do I? I have like a Caribbean Canadian accent.
Right?
No!
It's fine because I say, absolutely not. I don't take any offense to anything. I'm not sensitive, guys. Trust me. New York
everyone just jumped down my throat over here. Funny
New York has
beat any sensitivity. Funny to me.
New York has beat any sensitivity out of me. First of all, I want to say this is how my sauce is looking. If you want an update.
Oh yeah, let me see. Is it getting thick? If the flour should be thickening it.
It's so thick. Mine looks like
that's good. If it seems a little too thick, you can add a little bit of water to it. I'll show you what mine is looking like. It's kind of like falling off. I actually was talking to you for so long that it didn't. I wasn't stirring properly like you were over there.
Okay, so look at mine. Maybe Okay, so this is where I am.
Yeah, yours, you probably could actually add just a tad bit of water.
Okay, because I was like, that looks good to me. Looks great.
Just a little bit of water, and then just make sure, because I have some clumps on the bottom that I wasn't stirring as I was talking to you, so I'm just going to give it aggressive stir right now.
Okay,
and then we're going to turn it down to a lower heat, just so to let these flavors kind of combine together for like 5 minutes as we cut our squash.
Okay, because
add a little bit of water to mine as well.
Mine has no clumps.
Oh, good, because you were stirring the whole time.
I was. I don't know. It just felt right. It felt like it was supposed to be happening.
All right. So our enchilada sauce in like 20 minutes is basically done from scratch. We just want the flavors to combine a little bit more. We're gonna bring over our squash and our onion, and we have another question.
So one comment. So C. Hoy has commented with 12 baby faces. 12 baby faces. And the question for Shev, on a scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate your cooking skills?
10.
10.
10.
I like the confidence, and I would actually agree. Like, if you follow her on Instagram, she cooks up a storm over there.
I'm gonna say that I genuinely love food, which is why I think I'm in the profession that I'm in, because I can't afford to like let go. But I enjoy cooking. It's like a little bit of cheap therapy for me, and I marry all kinds of things and just see how it goes. I cook, guys. Come and follow me.
All right, so we are going to cut our onion in the same way people have seen a million times on Real Life Cooking.
I have a red onion. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Okay. And Shev has taken knife skills, so if you really want to learn how to cut an onion amazingly, take my knife skills. I have 2 classes tomorrow if you want to check it out.
plug.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and just cut off that top part, not that papery, or not the rooted bottom. Cut it in half, and then take off the skin. Question?
So a comment and a question. The first comment is from your mother, Kat, your mother.
Mm-hmm.
Too much talk about nothing more. Too much talk. Pause. Nothing more about the sauce. So you should be talking about the sauce.
Well, the sauces should be completed. Don't you see our perfect sauces over here? So to reiterate about the sauce, we toasted our spices and our butter. Then we added more butter and we put our flour in. We made that like a thick mixture. Then we added in our tomato paste and our broth, and then that's how we're here now at this moment. And now we're just letting it simmer down until it's like so the flavors can melt together more.
Yeah.
And now the question is for Shev.
Yes.
What part of Canada are you from, and how long have you been in New York?
And do you know Drake? That was my first.
That is
question.
not a question, and you do not have to answer.
Oh gosh, I feel put on the spot. 3 things. I've been here for 7 years. I lived in Toronto proper, so like Etobicoke, the West End. And yes, I do.
Oh, there we go. Now we know. So sorry, I was like cutting my onion because Shev already knows how to do this. But for those of you who are cooking along with us, you're going to want to bring your half of an onion that we peeled and cut in half as close as you can as on the cutting board. Then you're going to slide your knife through a few times horizontally. And then you're going to turn your onion so the rooted end is away from you and run your knife through the tip just a few times. And then turn it back the way it was before, and then you'll run through and you'll get a nice dice of your onion. Very, very simple.
Can you show them how small it should be?
Yeah. So I made like a small dice.
Love it. Okay.
And you can do, so the closer you make your cuts together when you're making all those cuts I just showed you, the smaller your onion will be. If you make them further apart, your dice of your onion is going to be larger. And we have another question.
Yes, this is 2 questions. So the first question is, how well did you know the artist known as Drake?
Oh, God, you
And
guys
the
are
second
hilarious.
question is from Keith Price. Did we ever use cocoa and sugar in the sauce?
No, we haven't added in, at the end of this recipe, ooh, my sauce is getting really, really thick, which is great, but I think I'm gonna water it out just a tad. Also, sorry, I didn't tell you guys. I told Shev this. I'm using gluten-free flour over here because it's not gonna change the flavor. If I was making a baked good, it could change the flavor, but it's just changing the fact that there's gluten. I shouldn't have told these people over here. They're all like, never mind, we're out. We're not eating this anymore. But gluten-free flour has a tend to get thicker than regular flour because it has like tapioca starch, potato starch, things of that nature inside. So I have to just be careful with that. That's why my sauce looks a little bit thicker than maybe yours does.
Not pizza.
But to answer the other question, the last few things on the ingredient list, sugar, cinnamon, cocoa, vinegar, those are more like...
That is cocoa. You are right. That is cocoa.
They're more like finishing flavors. So, is your onion strong?
Don't cry, girl.
My onion is over here getting me in my eyes, too. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, wait, I'm just here, living, cutting. I like to cut lots of onions so I don't have to do this whenever I need it.
Same.
Gosh.
So yeah, those are more, the sugar, cocoa, vinegar are finishing flavors. So they're not like the base of our sauce, but that's how we'll adjust our sauce in the end to make it taste even better to whoever is making it. So cocoa is going to add a depth of flavor. Cinnamon is going to kind of add just like a hint of smokiness. It's going to complement the smoky flavors inside. Vinegar is going to make it more acidic, and sugar is going to make it sweeter.
Question, do you have any tips for someone who has sensitive eyes with cutting onions?
This is one of the most asked questions I get on this show, and there's a few ways to avoid onions in your eyes. The first is to freeze your onion for 10 minutes. The second is to have a very, very sharp knife, because if you're cutting through your onion, you're not bruising it as much, which is bruising the skin is what's releasing those sulfurs, which is hurting your eyes. And the third, actually there's two more. One is to hold a piece of bread in your mouth. It kind of absorbs some of those aromas. And the fourth is to wear sunglasses, or glasses actually kind of help too, just regular glasses.
Wow, I need all of the above because I am
You have another tip.
flying.
Oh, someone else has a tip they want to contribute. Oh, I'm okay.
Someone has a tip, beauty by me, to cut it with the fire on.
To cut it with the fire?
Between their stove.
Oh, so the smoke.
With the stove on. She cuts her with her stove, near the stove with the flame going, and it never bothers them. Yeah.
I was just waiting for that reaction.
I'm dead because I'm like legit crying.
I'm all good over here.
I am not okay.
All right.
Oh,
So
God.
we have our onion chopped. I think I just saw you checked on your sauce. Make sure it's not getting too thick. If you feel like it's getting too thick, go ahead and add a little bit more water. And then we're gonna cut up our zucchini. Really, however you want to cut up your zucchini is up to you. You can slice it or dice it. I'm gonna dice mine. So I just cut off the top and the bottom. And I am going to slice it in half and just quarter. Then I'm gonna make it into quarters, and then I'm just gonna make a dice off of that. That's like the easiest way to get. And I'm gonna make these just slightly bigger.
I want to see when you're done because
yeah, I'll bring it to you.
throwing
This is how
out
big
slicing. Slice them and dice them, and I'm like, okay, sounds about it. Cool.
All right.
And you're doing the whole thing just one, correct? Because I have two.
Yep.
All right.
And I suggested having yellow and green squash, but at my store they only were sold in packs of 4 of both, and I didn't want 8 squash, so I just ended up getting zucchini.
I felt very, very unprepared when I went to the grocery store and I was looking at them and the sign said zucchini and then it said yellow squash, and I was kind of like, I'm going to get both of them because I'm not really sure what's going on. So that's why I have 2 of each.
Yeah, no, if I had gone to a store where they were just sold separately, I definitely would have got one of each. Just really not even necessarily for flavor, just like it makes it more interesting to look at and pretty to eat later.
So I should cut both.
Yeah, I would cut both.
Question.
Yeah.
From C. Toy, I think you may be familiar with him. At what point do we check on the truly? I haven't seen you touch the truly in quite a while.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm trying to instruct and interact. Like, let me live over here.
Multitasking. And do you have any meat to add to this recipe?
No, I do not have meat. We're making vegetarian enchiladas, as I told you. So actually, Shev, you don't know this, but this recipe is actually really special to me, the stacked enchiladas aspect of it, because my godmother growing up was from Mexico, and she used to make stacked enchiladas that were so bomb to me. It was like one of my favorite things that she used to make. So that's why I wanted to reenact it, because everyone's so familiar with just like the rolled enchiladas. But
I love that.
Just like really cool.
So I am going to say this because my boyfriend was like, is she Mexican? Because, you know, he's from Cali and he's very, in his mind, he like knows everything Mexican. Like I eat.
Oh yeah, everyone from Southern California is halfway Mexican.
Oh yeah, just like everybody from Toronto is halfway Caribbean, specifically Jamaican. It's just a thing.
No, I mean, we're the experts on tacos, like food. No, you guys don't feel the same.
No.
We don't.
Monique is not from Mexico. Monique is from Brazil.
I didn't start having proper tacos until I came to America. Just throwing that out there. Taco Bell was a real thing.
Yeah, no, not. And now you've been welcome to the real tacos.
The dark side. All right, so let me show you. So these are my.
Let me see.
Oh,
they look great.
All right.
Awesome. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and saute these.
No question.
I know. We're gonna saute our squash and our onion. So we're gonna bring a skillet that'll fit all of them in to a medium heat, and we're gonna add in oil or butter, whatever you prefer, about a tablespoon. We're gonna add in our onion first, just to saute that around a little bit, and then we'll add in our squash. So I am not a fan of mushy squash, so I only cook my squash for like 2 to 3 minutes.
I'm gonna go with that.
To it. Yeah.
So how much oil? Do you think I should use oil or butter? Be honest.
I'm gonna use oil in this case.
Okay. And you said 2 tablespoons?
Just like a tablespoon or so.
Okay.
I'm using olive oil over here.
Oh, I'm gonna use the same then. I like you.
And so we're gonna put our onion inside, and then we will saute that.
And how much onion would you like me to be using?
The whole onion. Your onion was like medium size, right?
My onion was huge, and this is how much onion I had from just half.
Yeah, no, then that half is good.
Okay, that's what I figured, because I was like, wow. All right.
See, look, you're on top of it. You know your way around the kitchen.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm a chef, but you know, sign me up.
We have a question.
No, we just have 2 comments. One comment is from Gil Ups. He wants you to know that he is half Mexican too. And then the other comment is from C. Coy. Chev definitely snuck a drink in there. So Chefleen.
Apparently it's a drinking competition. I thought we were just cooking here.
It's a good time on that side. I need to come uptown.
Yeah, you should come.
Seriously. No, I need to host you and show you my skills so you can judge me. So whenever you guys are ready to come to Brooklyn, we are happy to have you. Brooklyn!
All right, guys, so if you're just joining us, welcome to Real Life Cooking. We're making enchiladas, stacked enchiladas. We have already basically made our whole enchilada sauce. We're sauteing our ingredients that'll go inside of our enchiladas now. So we're starting to saute some onion. We have some zucchini about to go in the pan. While our onion and zucchini are sauteing, let's go ahead and finish off our sauce, which is simmering for about 5 to 7 minutes. So the things that we add are going to be a teaspoon of sugar, a dab, that's really like just a little splash, a teaspoon of cocoa powder, and a teaspoon of vinegar to the end of our enchilada sauce. So I'm going to bring my enchilada sauce over here and bring over all the things I just said. Cinnamon, sugar.
Which cocoa powder are you using? Teaspoon of cinnamon.
I have like I forgot to get it down actually.
Okay, wait, hold on, because I don't know where my cinnamon is. The one thing that I didn't take out. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah. Cinnamon, you said cinnamon, sugar.
Cinnamon, sugar,
and
vinegar,
cocoa.
apple cider vinegar, and our cocoa powder. literally like just about a teaspoon of these things, but this is just more of a suggestion. If you want to play around to make the sauce taste like exactly to your preference, you can add, like, say you like things more on the sweeter side, you can add a little bit more sugar. Or if you really like that like smokiness that the cinnamon enhances in the sauce, you can add a little bit more cinnamon. If you like things more acidic, you can add a little bit more vinegar. These are things you kind of play around with and really learn what you like in your own kitchen.
Got it.
Question?
So this question is from Mark Aaron Bright. So he noticed you're using white onion, and Chef Shev is using red onion. Is there any opinion? Can you tell us the difference between red and white onions?
So the main difference is that they just taste a little bit different. Red onions are generally a little sweeter.
Mm-hmm.
I actually like in raw applications, I like red onion a little bit better. In general, I don't buy them necessarily to cook so much. Not because I don't like them or they don't work, but they kind of like blend into things a little, or white onion blends into things a little bit better in terms of color and flavor in a sense. Like for instance, like say someone doesn't like onion, if there's red onion, it's definitely like, oh, I don't like onion, so it's not there. And if it's white onion, they might not notice unless they're like super picky.
I will say this, I actually hate raw onions, but in Caribbean form, we eat onion, we cook onion down for every dish. So I've learned to like love it cooked. But if you give me a raw onion on like a burger or something, it's not going in my mouth. So yeah, it's funny that you say that because I always have red onion opposed to white onion in the house.
I do like red onion better, but I just in regular cooking I just normally buy. Also, white onion is a little bit cheaper in general. So if you're cooking a lot, white onion is a little bit cheaper.
Okay, and just to note, I put my sugar, I put my cinnamon, and I put my apple cider vinegar in.
All right, so now you're just gonna stir it around and then taste it and see if you want to add anything else. So taste it, let me know how you feel about it, and I can tell you how to fix it if you are not feeling it or you feel like it needs something. You're also probably going to need to add more salt because I just added some salt to mine.
Okay, hold on. Ooh. Yeah, I could definitely add some salt to it. But other than that, it tastes really good. There's like a smoky taste to it.
That's from the chili powder and then how we toasted those spices at the beginning.
Hello.
That's actually really good. This is way better than canned enchilada sauce.
I'm never making things from like, I don't even want things from a can. If I can make it myself, I'm just like, you know, quarantine has allowed us all this free time.
Yeah, for sure. To like do everything. All right, we have a question.
We have a comment and a question. The first comment is from Call Me Titilayo. And she wants you to know it smells really, really, really good in apartment on the fifth floor. I don't remember.
5 feet.
5 feet. It smells really good.
Sister girl, fifth floor.
Really good. And then the second question is, if someone was going to add meat, terrible people, when would they add meat to this recipe?
So, literally with the squash and onion, what we're doing right now is making the filling of the enchilada. If you wanted to just have some shredded chicken, shredded short ribs, shredded pork, whatever you want to do in between the layers, you can do it. Like, this is just an option.
All right. And I haven't added my squash to my onion. I'm sweating the onions out still.
Now that your onions, once your onions are a little, I just added my squash. You're going to add your squash in when you feel like your onions are like, you know, just a little translucent. They're starting to be a little bit fragrant.
No more oil added.
No more oil.
Okay.
You're going to want to add a little bit of salt, though.
Okay, cool.
Question?
Question is from Anonymous. Being from Canada, this question is for Chef Shev. Do you feel like
I like how you became a chef today.
No, you know what? You better put some respect on it. I like that.
Do you feel like your palate is a little bit more diverse than most Americans you come across?
You know, that's a loaded question because I am.
Fighting words.
I'm Caribbean, so we come from a place where spices dictate every meal. A lot of places don't spice first. They kind of like, it's green, it's red, it's all these colors, and then you kind of spice later. So I come from a land of like, we use seasoning regularly, hence my expansive collection. But I will say this though, because I've traveled all over the world and I've been to a lot of states that have wowed me. New Orleans is one of them.
One of my favorite places in America.
And I think that my palate has been heavily shifted in a great way being in America. So yes, I have a great palate, but America has changed that. Again, didn't have real Mexican food until I went to LA proper. And then, you know, New Orleans takes me down south to another, it's just different. I can't explain it.
I think, actually, I feel like being in New York for the last 7 years, Mexican food has really only started to come here in a real way. Like, maybe the past 3. Because when I first moved here, it was very difficult to find good Mexican food. And it's still not California Mexican food.
No. And I quarantined in LA, so like every Tuesday was real Taco Tuesday because I could get like chorizo from, you know, the Mexican grocery store and real tacos because they're making them in the back and like, you know, it was different.
For sure. Question.
This is for both of you. What would you say are your top 3 go-to spices?
You can go ahead. I told people before, so I'll let. What are your top go-to spices?
So my top spices are garlic powder, onion powder, all-purpose seasoning, any, as well as garlic salt. But you know you have to use that sparingly. Yeah. But this is a green seasoning that a lot of Caribbeans use that a lot of people don't know, and it literally has everything in it, like scallions, celery, salt, chopped cilantro. Like it's everything into this little paste. So you could pour this on pretty much everything, and then you can cook. So yeah,
you can make like plain fish, plain chicken, and just pour
exactly.
it. Like,
so this is, they call this green seasoning, but this is like everything you need. Jamaica choice, plug. But like onion powder, garlic powder, seasoning salt, garlic salt if you know how to use it correctly, and cayenne pepper. I put that shit on everything.
Yeah, I would agree with garlic powder, onion powder. Now that I have been with Chris, Old Bay is a very all-purpose seasoning in the household.
Where is Chris from? What?
Chris is from Maryland. Well, he grew up in Maryland. He was actually born in New York, but grew up in Maryland.
Okay.
All right, so we have our squash sauteing. Our sauce is basically done. So now it's just a matter, and we're probably going to have to restart this after Instagram pisses off an hour, but now it's just a matter of stacking our enchiladas. But what we need to do is saute our corn tortilla in some oil and then dip it in our sauce, and then we'll need a few of those to stack them on top of each other in between our layers of squash. So we can get our saucepan, our skillet we had ready, and start heating that up with some oil. And in this case, you definitely want to use oil because it needs to get a little hot and butter will just burn. And I'm using corn tortillas. I am a huge fan of corn tortillas for this recipe. You could definitely use flour if that's what you like, but corn is more traditional for me. So I'm going to make a stack of, let's say 3 for this presentation purposes.
I think we're using the same one.
If your sauce is not in a bowl that is easily dippable, you might want to I'm going to transfer a little bit of my sauce to this like little more shallow bowl that the tortilla will fit into. But if your sauce is in the pan that your tortilla will fit into, you don't have to worry about that. I think it should be able to stay warm while I'm stacking. Also, this sauce can stay in your fridge for like up to a week. And you can just use it on eggs. You can make more enchiladas. What else? You should just use that as a sauce for like chicken or fish, just like your green sauce over there.
I feel like this is not going to be the best bowl for the presentation, but this is my auntie bowl. It's the only deep-ish bowl that I have that's wide. So I'm going to stack it in there. So I should put some sauce in there.
Oh no, so this is just, so basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna fry our tortilla a little bit, dip it in the sauce, and then you're gonna stack it on a plate.
Oh, okay. No,
Mhm.
then I don't need that. Okay.
Oh, also, if you have the black beans, so real life cooking, you're gonna add them to your squash mixture now.
Okay.
Now that your squash is almost done. I don't have the black beans because, again, I don't know what is up with this grocery store I went to today. They only had Goya products, which now I absolutely cannot support anymore.
I had Goya beans in my actual cabinet from time because, again, my boyfriend is part Mexican in his mind. So I'm going to use this still because we're going to get rid of it.
No, as you should. You already paid them, so it's not like you can take it away.
You can't take it away. Like, I'm not throwing away things, but there won't be any.
I think I have a few Goya products in the house that are still going to get used, but I'm not buying anymore.
Yeah. So I respect your decision to not further support. So my beans are in there.
Awesome. So now with your squash mixture, you just want to season it to taste. So if you want to add your Creole seasonings that you go to, like your garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, anything that makes it taste good to you, so that it's individually seasoned on its own and it's not relying on the sauce to take over all the seasoning. I just added a little bit of salt and some garlic powder.
I like that you allowed me to re-season because I would have probably wanted to.
You gotta make it your own somehow.
Facts. And I also have this cheese, and I wanted to ask you if this was okay because I was told that we need to use this.
What kind of cheese is it? Oh, cojita?
It was a non-compete, like it was a requirement.
So that is the traditional cheese that is used in, like if you notice, if you eat authentic Mexican food, they're not using like stringy, like the cheddar cheese we use, like Monterey Jack. Monterey Jack is more of like a Tex-Mex thing. That was Americans introducing their own flair. But yeah, a lot of Mexican cheeses are a lot more crumbly, a lot more similar to feta or something like that. Cojita is similar to feta in a sense. All right, so I know we're doing a lot right now. I appreciate you for keeping up, Chef. We have seasoned our squash and our onion mixture, added our beans into that. That is going to be one of our filling layers. We are frying our tortillas, and then once your tortilla is fried, you're going to dip it into your sauce, so it looks like this. It's nice and coated in your sauce. And then once you're going to start building your layers or your stacks. So once you have one, you're going to go ahead and put it on your plate, and then you're going to add some of your seasoned mixture of your squash and beans to the middle. And then you're going to top with cheese. And then you're just going to keep doing that for as many stacks as you think should be one serving per person.
Oh, yeah.
Three is an appropriate number for like a normal average human being.
I've never had this before.
So that's like a 5 stack.
I want to throw this out there. I've never had this before. 1 minute before we have to recharge?
Yeah, 1 minute before we have to recharge.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chef.
Right here.
Thank you, Chef.
I heard you. All right, so we're stacking now at this point. So I'm going to bring this over right when I kick us out and restart it.
Add the chicken.
I don't have any chicken. This is a vegetarian meal. All right, so here we go, Chef. So I have my tortilla, I fried, I dipped in sauce, put my squash on, put some cheese on. I'm going to do another layer. But I'm going to end this right now and then like restart it. So you have to ask to rejoin.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Ooh, my tortilla is burning.
Okay, we're back.
We're back. Instagram is back. I'm over here. She asked to join. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Life Cooking Part 2. We are finishing up our stacked enchiladas. Here we go. Shev has been here with us. Go ahead and go live with her. Again. I think I just accepted her. Yeah. Oh, there you are. There you are.
I'm here, burning down the kitchen.
You know, I did a class this week in my virtual kitchen, kitchen, and someone literally lit their kitchen on fire.
I'm done.
And somehow I missed it. So, like, everyone else, like, I don't know, I might have been, like, just looking at something. And then someone was like, yeah, her kitchen was on fire. I was like, wait, what? Apparently there was some old oil, like, underneath, and it caught on fire.
Oh, no.
But
Smells
she finished
good?
the class. She finished successfully at the end.
It is ready. I'm just frying my last tortilla. I'm going to use this plate to start stacking.
I just put my last stack. So again, everyone at home that is wondering, you can definitely make this with meat. Literally, you can make it just with cheese, and that. When I was a kid, just cheese and enchilada and tortilla was perfectly fine for me. You could put shredded chicken, shredded pork, shredded short rib would be amazing. Anything really that your imagination decides you would like to do. The last layer, of course, you can put more squash on top, or you could just top it with cheese, which is what I'm gonna do. And then we have our green onion that we're gonna slice and cut on top of the last element. Or cilantro.
Oh no! I definitely didn't have green onion. I think I used it all, and I got cilantro.
Yeah, no, either or works. You could even have both, but I mean, I think that's like the number one thing that goes bad in my house is herbs. Like
Me too. My cilantro just literally takes flight every single time.
for sure.
You're on cleanup duty, FYI. You want to eat, but you don't want to clean, huh? Okay.
How do you feel like your sauce tastes over there, Chev?
I feel like my toss, as I'm tossing, I feel like my sauce is really good. Again, I've never had this before in real life, so this is like, let's make it and let's have it for the first time type situation.
So this is amazing. It's the first time you're making it, and you're doing it on live stream. So
no freaking pressure. No pressure at all. I feel like it's gonna be a vibe. My presentation, not so great.
Don't worry about your presentation. It was a lot happening over here.
It was all about the presentation. Are you kidding me?
We've been cooking up a storm over here, so we didn't really even get to talk so much about your live stream monthly membership, which is so awesome. If you are at home and feeling like you gained the quarantine 15, definitely it's affordable. And not only is it affordable, but I feel like you should charge people more because your results that you've been getting, like what?
I feel like I should charge more for my actual personal training. Let's start with that, okay? But it's not even so much about it. Of course, I was trying to ensure that I could survive. Yeah. But it was more like I wanted to show people that you don't actually need to be in a gym and pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get the results. It's basically about you. And I created this little community that helps each other achieve their goals, and they've been killing it. So my live stream membership is $15 a month. You get 8 classes with me that run on Wednesdays. It's 6:30, and now we've switched over to Sunday at 11 a.m. In addition to that, we have a plethora of people that come in and spotlight classes. Chefleen did one for me at the beginning of the live stream back in April, which was amazing. So you have like yoga instructors, we have chefs that come in.
You had the one young lady that taught me how to fix my eyebrows during quarantine.
Yes.
I'm too scared still with the razor to get all the way in there, but it was helpful.
When quarantine started, I was kind of like, what do we need as a people to feel like we can continue our lives? And some people are still working and they have to be presentable, and they're just like myself. Just looking at yourself in the mirror, you're like, it went rogue so fast. I didn't know how much I needed my threading lady. So yeah, it's awesome. Follow me, bodybychef.com. Every month we change the classes, so you're never getting the same experience every single time. And we're going to be doing a new challenge. So a lot of the girls got results because we did like a 49-day challenge. where they were eating clean, they were working out. I put them on like an expansive like regimen. This is what you're going to be doing. No cheating. And they got amazing results from home with like little to no exercise equipment.
No anything, for sure. It was very, very inspiring. When you started it, I was like, yeah, I'm out, girl. Like, these cooking classes, I can't waste this food. But I am inspired, and I may actually try this next challenge for sure.
No, you have to, because you can still live. You don't have to eat everything that you make, and you can always add a little spin to it. Like, we're making a little bit of a healthier option here. So this is like, that's how you make things a little healthier, because nothing we really made was crazy. We're using corn tortillas.
Yeah, no, I would say this is healthy, quote unquote. Okay, wait, we have a question. TT has been dying over
Mine does not look like yours. Why does yours not look? Yours looks so put together. Did you dry yours? What in the hell?
No, I didn't dry mine. Let me see yours. Yours look good. They look nice and saucy.
I mean, we got busy. I'm going to make another, while we're still talking, I'm going to make another presentation, because now that I see what yours looks like.
She is not happy about that presentation.
I'm a perfectionist, so like, we got to make it look proper. Go on.
What was the question, TT?
The question was, one, how long does that last after you make it in the refrigerator? Should you wait? And then there's another question, should you stir the herbs in, so the cilantro or parsley, in a cup of water in the fridge? What's your recommendation? How can we triple the lifespan of our herbs? Okay,
so 2 questions. These enchiladas are made to be made and then eaten immediately. You wouldn't want to like make this and then save it in the fridge. And not like the rolled enchiladas, which actually get better over time. The sauce will get better over time, but obviously we spent that work crisping up that tortilla, dipping it in the sauce. It's made to be eaten now. So you can save the sauce, you can save all the elements, but when you go to recreate it, you want to put them, for the best flavor, you want to put them together when you're about to eat them. In terms of storing herbs, the best way to store them, and I could do this, I'm just a little lazy in my own house, I do it for all my clients, is to put them in a Ziploc bag wrapped in paper towel. And they, like, parsley that way will last for like 2-3 weeks sometimes. Cilantro is a little bit more delicate, so it doesn't last quite as long. In the question they asked, storing them in a jar or like a glass with water, like flowers in a vase. That's good if your temperature is stable. So right now, if I were to try to do that, like in my house in New York City, it's entirely too hot. My herbs will just completely wilt in like 3 seconds. And if I do it in my fridge, for some reason my fridge runs a little cold, so the herbs don't stay fresh well either that way. So the the plastic Ziploc bag and the paper towels is the best, in my opinion. Deb is over there getting busy. She's like, no, I'm not going out in that presentation.
It's fine. I made one. I needed to see what that competition looked like. No, I'm sad. I didn't even know what it looked like, and I didn't want to look it up to get psyched out. Like, this is what it's supposed to look like. Like, I've never had this before. So I'm excited, but also I think I OD'd because, like, I'm used to making grown man portions.
Oh, so, yeah, no, this is a delicate portion over here. This is a 3 stacks, 3 little corn tortillas, and then the cheese and zucchini inside.
Yeah, I got really busy with that. I'm going to fix it, though. It's going to be great. I'm making it on a smaller plate.
So what else are you what else besides your monthly live stream membership can people look out for in the future of things that you're doing?
So I have a 28-day program that I have created prior to quarantine, and that is like a full 28 days of workouts. You get full video demos by me. You get a full 4-week meal guide that you follow specifically, and the results are just as amazing as my live stream members' results. So I think that I am going to take a minute whenever I have some time to create another program of just like things that you can do from home. That program can be done at home and in the gym, but this one is just going to be like literally body weight. Mm-hmm. Body weight and a clean menu of things to follow. Yes.
sorry to cut you off. What
That's
is
okay.
a realistic time frame for your body to change? I ask every trainer this.
Honestly, I never put a time frame on anything because I've seen girls in my live stream that had no equipment at home do amazing things in 49 days. And I've seen people that have taken 5 or 6 months to actually get to their goal. So it's relative. Everybody's schedules are different. But I will say that if you put in the work and you give yourself 30 days, you'll see amazing results.
Yeah, 30 days.
And I say 30 days because like the first week you're kind of like, all right, you're in, you're not all the way in, your toes kind of out. If you're all the way in, you'll see results right away. So I would tell people, give yourself at least 30 days of like consistency. And I see you're out here, you're doing the work.
I am. I feel like I haven't been as consistent necessarily in terms of like every day or like lifestyle choices in terms of eating and things of that nature. But since March, I've actually been working out at least 3 times a week, which is probably the most consistent I've been since I moved to New York.
Well, there you go. Imagine if you were.
It's slower, definitely.
Imagine if you were working out like that and then you were eating clean.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like I would, like the 30 days, I think it's totally achievable, like you said.
Okay, mine are not going to look like yours, and I don't know why, but that's fine.
But you know what? Because you're pouring the sauce over. Dip your tortilla actually.
No, I am dipping it in. I'm drenching this bad boy in it. It's like it's living in there. Anyways, I feel very proud.
You should.
You want to try it?
Yeah, try it. Try
there's
it on
one
camera
over there.
and let us know.
Okay, there's one right there for you. See that? Sprinkle Bay. That's what that is. All right, I'm gonna try it. Give me 1 second. I have one more tortilla going. Turn this guy down. Like my kitchen is destroyed.
That's not that bad over there. Also, I want to thank you again. I'm going to thank you again before this is over, but for taking on such an ambitious menu.
Really? I felt like I did that.
I mean, you did, but it's like, I was like, if you don't want to have all these ingredients, we could definitely just use canned. And you're like, no, I want it all the way from scratch.
I wanted all of the smoke. I wanted to do this.
So I really appreciate that. But I mean, I should expect no less from you.
All right. So this one is a little bit more visible, aka you can see things. It just doesn't look like. All right.
Pile.
Yeah. I'm gonna take a picture
first.
I'm gonna take a picture and then I'm gonna taste it so that I can post this after.
Oh yeah, she can't dig in because if you don't take a picture and post it on Instagram,
it never
not
happened.
real. You didn't actually make it.
All right. Can I use your phone for a second, Vic? Because my phone is currently being used.
My phone is live streaming, so I can't.
My phone is live streaming. All right.
So for those of you who are still watching, thank you so much for joining us on Real Life Cooking. I do this every Sunday, although in August I'm going to take a little break and come back in September. But you can also find my classes, virtual online classes, chefleen.com. If you would like to take cooking classes, I do public classes and I do private classes, just like Shev, except for in your kitchen, not in your living room working out. And Shev, can you tell everyone your website also? Yes,
you guys can follow me and find me. My Instagram is its Chevy, SHEVY baby, BABY, or you can go on my website at Body by Shev. I don't know what I'm talking about.
And be jealous of her body when you go on her website because it's all it's all her.
Are we gonna try it together?
Yeah, I'll get a fork.
Okay.
All right. Cheers. We cheers at the beginning with our Sunday Funday drinks. Now we're cheersing with our enchiladas that I just destroyed while cutting in. Sorry, guys. One more last view of my enchilada stack.
I mean, I feel great about this. Just throwing that out there. All right.
This is so good.
Oh my God.
It's bringing me back. Bringing me back to my childhood in California. Oh,
Like that smokiness, I'm not sure what it is.
It's all the spices we toasted together, coming together in marriage. No entanglements here.
No entanglement.
All right, Chef. Thank you so much for joining me. Thanks
Thank
for
you
everyone
for-
to watch.
Yeah.
Thank
Maybe
you for
someday
inviting
we'll
me.
do it in real life.
Yes, and if you want to do this again, you know I'm here for it. Teach me new ways.
Awesome. Enjoy dinner over there.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.